About how many people on your planet, Sister Rena? I failed to ask you.
We have had a diminishing number of peoples on this planet. Originally, there were, as I remember, 50 million.
50 million? Uh-huh.
We have dwindled down to a number of 77 or 7,700,000.
This would be due very likely to the lack of your progressive evolution, or is your planet so small that it cannot take care of more very conveniently?
It is a small world. It is approximately 5,000 miles in circumference.
Well, maybe that is sufficient people for your world. You see, these things are usually all very well controlled by we of the higher spiritual worlds. If there are too many people on the planet, when they leave the physical body in so-called death, we usher them to other astral or other physical worlds where there is more room. And as a rule, this is all regulated by the inner and higher. But, of course, where the population is not really in a retrogressive motion, they could very likely bring this decline of people about themselves.
I know that in the early times when you were amongst us, that we had much more knowledge and information about the means of sustaining our lives here in the physical, how to use the food growing means, and how to manage the other means of chemically eating the food growth here. But this has been lost, and the peoples do not live to an age as I do. I am considered to be a goddess because of my advanced years.
You have been there just 100 years?
100 years. The average lifespan here is 25 years.
Oh, that is very short. Well, that will be taken care of too. That is, if this is a need, and evidently it is.
There is still room. I mean, the planet has sparsely settled areas that have not been developed, and the reason is that we do not know of methods to re-instill into the land the necessary richness to grow the crops.
Well, this shall be taken care of also. We have many ways, manners and means, and new found and new created manners to stimulate a greater growth and a greater abundance of crops, and not only that, but crops that will nourish the body far more substantially and readily and beneficially than have heretofore in the past. So when we say all of your needs shall be met, we mean all, and this shall be. There was one more question that I wanted to ask before that I can conclude this, for it is well to have just a little data of your situation there. Now, I was not necessarily aware of the manner and way in which you receive our projections. Now, of course, I know it is mainly through your mind. What other means? My sub-channel here noticed a lens over your in front of you and another some configuration over your head. Are you aware of the function and the purpose of these mechanisms?
I can explain thusly, Aishana, that there has been a continuation of persons as of myself, and possibly I was the same one who reincarnated in these many times since your first appearance. There was built here in a special temple a room such as I am in, and I do not know in my conscious mind how this lens was so created, or crystal, or
go ahead, dear.
How it was manifested. I only know that it helps me in my attunement or in my attempts to have called for help.
I see. Is your temple, what you call a temple, is that conical shape, a cone shape?
Yes.
Pointed at the top?
The temple is the same shape as this crystal that I have, one below and one above. And as I attune myself mentally, direct my mind to the crystal directly in front of me. And I have seen psychically a energy or a blue light which travels from the topmost or the higher crystal to the one in front of me, which is the lower one.
Could you please tell me the dimension about how the width or the dimensions of these crystals, would they be about, well, we cannot tell as to our earth measurements whether they are the same. If you were to spread your arms far apart, would the crystal that is in front of you be that wide? This we call a yard.
Approximately, just a bit more so. My arms are not very wide, as I am a smallish person.
Now, in comparison with that, what is the size of the one overhead or up high? Is it larger?
Yes, the one below is, as you say, about 3 feet or whatever my arms are, but larger, and the other one is twice that size, the one on top.
Now, this was 100,000 years ago, evidently, that these lenses were placed there.
This temple is sacred to the people, and none but the head priestess is allowed, or has ever been allowed. There is a seal, and it is an unspoken understanding amongst the people that none is to enter, and that if they do so, it would mean their doom.
Well, what a shame. They have made the fear the very element, the very things that can help them so much. Tell them what this wonderful mechanism is. Tell them it is a way and a manner and means in which all of the surrounding worlds can contact and help them. Help remove their fears of this beautiful mechanism. This same situation has occurred in so many places that the people have learned to fear the very things that can help them the most. Tell them this is a manner and a means and a way or a channel from the very spiritual worlds they call heaven.